Welcome to Umbrella Rebellion and our dive into IBLP's Men's Manual. So, if you haven't seen the series before, I highly suggest, whether you're watching on YouTube, TikTok, or listening to it on the podcast, that you go back and listen to the previous videos. Here's the thing. I have not pre-read these questions and answers. So you are getting my almost real-time response. Also, housekeeping. If you are following us on TikTok, but this app might be going away in April. If you want to continue to follow us and follow this deep dive into the IBLPs Men's Manual, please make sure that you are following us on YouTube, Substack, Facebook, Instagram. I would love to have y'all come join me on Substack. I really enjoy the community that is over there, and I think you might too. So, with that being said, let's get into this next question. So, we are under question 17 still. How can I understand what is really happening in this complex world? And then he has this box, have you been deceived? And this is supposed to be an exercise in figuring out if your thought patterns, I guess, are against quote unquote God's way. Really, Bill Gothard's way, in my humble opinion. So we are in question number 5. Primitive tribes are emerging from the quote unquote Stone Age. Now, remember, this was first published in 1979, and there was about 4 or 5 subsequent copyright dates. I think the last one was in the 80s. False. Primitive tribes are not from some prehistoric Stone Age. They are the remnants of great and advanced civilizations which reject God's moral laws. This one kind of chaps my hide a little bit. And the reason is it's racist. I can't even pretend and try to sugarcoat what that is, but that is racist. Identifying every single primitive tribe as some kind of godless civilization is so racist. It also continues the narrative of we are better than you, us versus them. I am only assuming, based on my knowledge of this cult and being in this cult, that what he is speaking of is indigenous tribes all over the world, including in America. It just makes me so sad sometimes what garbage I was fed and what that led me to believe. I was raised in the South. Racism was not foreign to me. It was in my own family. And this just reinforced those racist beliefs that I was raised with. If this is something that you have dealt with, if you have been raised under these beliefs, I know that it takes a lot of work to correct what you were indoctrinated with about Indigenous people and people of color and anyone that is not white Europeans. Look, it's Black History Month. No matter how people might want to erase it, this is Black History Month. And Black History Month in America is also American history. For far too long, we have been fed lies about our history and we have not been told the whole truth. It is a great time to let the algorithm work for you and look up some creators who are Black creators, people of color, that are willing to tell you the true history of their people. Because what we were taught in school was very minimal and very whitewashed, at least in the South, in my school. Education is key, and we know that in IBLP and ATI, we did not get an education that was well rounded into the actual history of our country. It can be discouraging sometimes, realizing how we were not prepared for the real world and we were not taught what was real and that it was very whitewashed. And that is okay. But now that you know that, it is your job to do the things to get the education, to learn better, to be an ally. Here on Umbrella Rebellion, we are allies. We support Black creators. So, yeah, I just want to encourage you to continue to educate yourself about American history and as it pertains to our fellow citizens that are Black and get to know what actually happened without the whitewashing of history. It wasn't so far in history that they had to fight for the right to exist in their own towns like the rest of white America. And they're still fighting racism. And as allies, we need to highlight those creators and we need to highlight those stories and we need to sit and listen and learn. Wasn't expecting to go that way. Like I said, these are raw responses and a little bit of rambling. And with that, I will end this episode. And if somebody has not told you today or ever, I am proud of you.